Welcome
right.
back, everyone, to our second latest podcast.
Welcome, welcome,
Don't be
welcome.
confused, there are a few other podcasts that have been uploaded. Um, Prior to this, these are very old ones. We just want to convert everything over to Spotify. Um,
Yay!
I haven't even listened to those, so I don't know how bad they are, but I know that they're pretty bad. But that's all cool. Shit happens, eh? So,
Shit
Richard,
happens.
What's
Yeah.
what's new? Tell us some client stories. Tell me about a difficult client or something. I love hearing this sort of stuff, and I love sharing my stories too.
Yeah. Like, okay, there's this one client. It's kind of like funny in a sense that it's funny, but it's so hurtful to
Mm.
me as a reader as well as my other friend reader.
Yep.
So there's this one client. Let's call this client as Leah.
Yep.
It's not her full name, it's like half of her name. So
Yep.
this Leah girl, she was so obsessed with her ex-boyfriend that she asked me the same question over and over again on my TikTok live, as well as my other local psychic friends in
Yep.
Malaysia, like the same question. So what happened is, it's like I'm gonna put the story short. Like first, she goes to my friend Rubini for a reading.
Yep.
Then she goes to me. But
Yep.
before she goes to me, she goes to Shalu. But Shalu feels that she's like quote unquote crazy,
Mm-hmm.
like crazy client, and she doesn't want to handle her. So
Yep.
it's like, I'm so sorry, I'm
And
not
this
gonna
is what I'm
refund
saying. A
you.
lot of a lot of people can't handle crazy, and this is what really makes you a standout psychic, even regardless of whether you're gifted or not in the slightest amount. If you can't handle the worst and best of your clients, you're going to have a hard time.
Exactly.
But anyway, yeah, keep going. I'm
Exactly.
not slagging your friend off, just starting there.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so this Leah girl goes to the second reader, which is Shalu, but she refused to do her reading. And then she goes to me, the third reader. But I was told by my, like, before I do her reading, I feel like so uncomfortable. Like should I not, should I do or should I not do? I should listen to my intuition. But anyway, because I was like so compassionate and so kind towards her because I know her situation, so I just do her reading. But most of it, like, instead of like doing like a proper psychic reading, most of it like counseling. I do regard that session as counseling.
Yeah, more like a
So
counselling
after
session.
my
Yeah.
session, she goes to the fourth reader. Her name is Jay, like the fourth reader, and then like few days ago, my friend Rubini asked like, hey, did Leah, this girl Leah, comes to you for a reading? I said yes. What happened? So she explained like this Leah girl went to me, and then you, and then like we are trying to figure it out, and then went to Jay, and then she told Jay that Richard was not accurate.
Mm,
And I was
yeah.
like, what the fuck?
And
I
look,
was like,
unfortunately, you're going to get that from clients who
yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
believe what you're
but
saying.
yeah, like let me clear myself out. I have
Mm.
the recorded voice message from her, like this Leah told me like, Richard, you're so wonderful, you're very accurate. Okay, I'm gonna move on, blah blah blah. I was like, okay, good. I was like hoping that she can listen towards the guidance that my guides give as well as the
Mm.
counseling session. But I got so annoyed by her when she told my friend Jay. That's why Jay complained to Ruby to say it to me, saying that this Leah Chen like slander Richard, saying that my reading was not accurate. The thing
Yeah.
is, like, all of us saying that, like, yes, there is the possibility that she might go back to her ex-boyfriend. But in my reading, I see that it will be a very difficult situation. Like the guys are saying that it's better for her to leave that person away because she's going to meet her next soulmate next year. It's better for her to focus on her
Mm.
self development, her career, her finance, yada yada yada. Plus, she's
Anyway,
young.
I'm going to cut you off because I guess at the end of the
Yeah.
day, the rest of it doesn't matter. I guess the point there is that you've got a client who didn't want to believe what you
Yes.
said
Correct.
because you
I'm so
didn't.
sorry to like complaining
No, no,
about
no,
it.
that's
Like
okay.
she's
Well, you had to release that. And I had a
yeah.
feeling you had a fresh one to get onto, so that's cool. Everyone's heard it here firsthand. So
Yeah.
essentially, you're dealing with a client who didn't hear what she wanted to hear and she wasn't happy about it. And
Yes.
look,
Correct.
you're going to get that in this industry.
Correct.
I've had it a lot. Most people come to their senses and end up being very grateful. You know, it kind of depends, I guess, what you say to them and what advice and all that sort of stuff. But sometimes it won't matter with some people what you say to them. And I'll refer to
Yes.
my client, the only one that's ever left me a bad review, and I'm sure there's many others that have probably wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
with regards to that topic, you know, not hearing what they wanted to hear. And,
Correct.
you know, she wanted to ask me about this man. And you've heard this
Mm-hmm.
story before, but we'll tell it for the listeners. She asked about this man,
Mm-hmm.
and she came into the reading. I already had her sussed out anyway before the reading, but I still read everyone regardless of what I sense from them, unless I get red flagged. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
she came in for the reading. She basically made it sound and look as if this was a fantastic relationship, and she just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know how it was going and all that sort of stuff, and you know, blah blah blah.
Normal question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, as soon as I pulled out the cards, it was pretty obvious to me, and I confronted her, you know, nicely as you do, and just said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Have you been seeing this person for very long? Because I'm getting told that you have been, but I just get this feeling like
Mm-hmm.
you don't even really know where you stand in this relationship, or whether you're even this guy's girlfriend." So her face dropped,
Mm-hmm.
but she opened up and told me the truth. And so
Mm-hmm.
she had been seeing this guy for a long time, like I saw it for 6 years. She did not know if she was his girlfriend after all that time because he never asked her and never said anything, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. And anyway, we went further into the reading, and it was pretty obvious to me that she was the problem in the
Ah.
relationship because she was yelling at him all the time. And this was the reason why he didn't want to commit to her. So I had to advise her appropriately. And I just said, look, on your current path, the relationship's not going anywhere, but you are going to end up with this really nice Asian guy. She was Asian herself. And I did pick up,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a bit hesitant in telling her, but I have to tell her what I see. I have to tell the truth because I knew she had a
Exactly.
problem with Asian men due to past experiences. So she had already decided
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to date another Asian man ever again for whatever reason, right? Blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So she became very angry and flew off the handle and just said, "No, I will never be with another Asian man," blah. I said, "Look, honey," I said, "I know you feel like that now, but I said later on you won't." I said, "Within the next, few years," I was saying the white picket fence, the family, the love. I said, "I see you thinking he's really funny, laughing." I went into a lot of in-depth details. And she kept referring back to the guy as you do. And I'd said everything that needed to be said, but we did a recap, and I just said to her, "Look, on your current path with this guy, unless you can sit down and be civil all the time and discuss things with him, he's never going to come to the party and commit." And I
Mm-hmm.
had already mentioned to her that he'd cheated on her, like cheated on her.
Cheated. But the
Um,
thing is that situation is like situationship. They're not in a sense officially together.
no, and she
So
was aware that he had cheated. And we're doing
mm-hmm. Quote unquote
exclamation marks
cheated.
for everyone who can't see what we're doing. Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah, so essentially, he cheated. She was aware of it even quite recently, which she didn't like to hear, but it was the truth. And yeah, and I just said, look, on your current path, it's not going to get anywhere. I said, you would have to be civil, and he would have to be okay with you being civil and be open and willing to move forward with you. And I said, I'm not saying any of that at this entire time. I said, you'd have to really, jump through hoops to get to that point. But I said, the good news is, there is another relationship, and it's fucking amazing. Anyway, look, she
Mm-hmm.
left, and I said to a colleague, that she's going to leave me a bad review because she made a bit of a scene out the front and was aggressive. I wouldn't normally talk about my
Mm-hmm.
clients, but they asked, and it was relevant to say at least this. But I just said, look, she's going to leave me a bad review. It'll be the first bad review I ever have. And
Mm-hmm.
they didn't think that she would. They said, no, people always do this, and they come back when they realise that you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And she did leave me a bad review, and I wasn't aware that it was there for a couple of weeks. I didn't get the notification, and I noticed my reading sales had died down a little, and I immediately thought, shit, I've got to go check those
Mm-hmm.
reviews. And she had left
What did
me.
she say?
Well, basically, she was outrageously disgraceful in her review.
Uh-huh.
She didn't admit that was the real problem, as don't these people. She just reckons that I was wrong and I was projecting my personal opinion onto her. She quoted me for
Mm-hmm.
things I'd said, but had twisted everything I'd said. She said that
Mm-hmm.
the services room was dirty and all sorts of,
Hi, Willow. Is that Willow or Eva? Oh,
it's
Willow.
my
Hi,
daughter.
darling. You
And
look beautiful
so
today.
and so he, she, sorry, she just said it left all this defamatory stuff anyway, which is basically against the contract that she'd signed. So I just decided to respond to her. And the way in which I responded to her, explaining every bad point that she brought up, it actually has helped me and actually done a really good thing. Like, so it's kind of blown up in her face. But on the but just to go back to some of the stuff that she said, she quoted me on things that could have caused me personal problems. Like, she twisted the stuff that I'd said. And it was explained to her why, other people and other clients were quoted as in exchanges of energy and stuff like that, and the relevance. It was all explained to her, and this was all said in the review response. But one of the things, I guess, that just stands out in my mind right now is she made this outrageous thing saying that the service room was dirty and messy. Now, before she even sat down in that services room, it was explained to her that we were in the middle of renovating and a tradesperson had let me down, and I apologised for the, mess. And it was just obvious renovation mess. It was very obvious. And I apologised extensively for it. And she was very, on the day, was understanding and compassionate, and said she'd gone through something similar. But then when it came to the review, she looked for everything she could possibly throw in my face. But
so she's literally like,
she's done nothing except actually make me look good, because people have read the review and liked my response and explanations, and it made them want to come. They knew they were going to get the truth.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter what she says to me or how rude and cruel she was to me. At the end of the day, it's not going to change her outcome. She's still not going to end up with this guy, whether she likes it or not.
Correct.
So people can carry on and do what they want. It doesn't change jack shit. In fact, all she did really was reiterate to me and prove Spirit right about her aggression, because she chucked a tantrum actually when she came to the shop, because she was confused about where to go. She chucked a tantrum on the way out, and she chucked a tantrum online. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. But you know what? I don't hold anything against my clients, because at the end of the day, we're only all human.
Yeah,
and
correct.
I've been, and look, if she come back and wanted a reading again, she'd get one. Because sometimes people just need time to cool down. She's not going to come back, though, because she was outrageously...
Nah, it's fine.
I don't care.
All right.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I don't fucking care. They can fuck off and suck a cock. That's my favorite word with Luan. They can just go fuck a cock. Suck a chicken? Cock? Which cock? Oh my gosh, Richard, you gotta get us flagged.
You're gonna get us fucking banned, man.
But the thing is, I do like cocks, so which cock are you talking about?
Oh, you gotta talk about your fucking your new username on everything. Your handle is the gay ghost.
Tell them.
Yeah, the gay ghost. Because we've been calling you the gay ghost for ages, because you always ghost everyone. You ghost me, you ghost everyone. So like, it's the gay ghost strikes again.
The gay ghost strike again. That's my new Instagram handle or name or whatever you call it. Because yes, I'm the gay ghost. I'm always here and I'm haunting Luan and everyone else. Like, ooh, the gay ghost is here.
That's funny.
I'm gonna fuck you.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, look at my big dick.
Oh my god, people are gonna listen to us and just go, what the fuck?
Well, like the listener will be like, what the fuck is this person about? Like, I sometimes when I'm angry with people, I was like, go get a dildo and hit yourself with a dildo. I was like,
So, let's talk about obsidian, by the way. Crystal obsidian.
Obsidian.
Rocks. Do you know?
Interesting that you're talking about obsidian. I was holding a black tourmaline, but to me, black tourmaline and obsidian are kind of like similar in energy and vibe.
Well, basically, they are. You're correct, because that's what I was just about to say. So the big question that I get in the shop, BeWitchy shop in Northbridge, Western Australia, the big question I get is, what rocks do you have for negativity? And my go-to answer is always, any rocks that are black are really good. Anyway, obviously I go into more in-depth conversations than that, and we talk about other options. So basically, it's a stone of obsidian is a stone of clarity. It helps release emotional, physical, and spiritual blockages. It
Mm-hmm.
draws out stress and tension. It can clear ancient traumas, karma,
Wow.
blah, blah, blah. And it
Mm-hmm.
detoxifies and encourages personal growth. It's a really good cleansing stone of your aura.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing about it, and I guess the biggest reason for why it is used for a lot of people, is because it is a psychic protection
It
stone.
is.
So
It
it
is.
shields you, and it's going to take a big smasheroni for you if you are under psychic
Correct.
attack.
And
Or
and
even
to
if you've
me,
been
right?
cursed, it's very good at retaining that. I'm going to tell a
Exactly.
story actually, if you don't mind.
All right.
So I had a
All right.
chappie come
Go ahead.
into So I had a chappie come into the shop, and he said to me, he was a very fit looking guy, and Richard would have been like,
Ooh.
"Ooh, look at him,
Ooh.
Luan." Ooh. Anyway, really nice person, and says to me, "Oh, have you got any tiger's eye stones?" And I
Okay.
said, "Yeah,
Tiger's
yeah, I do,
eye.
just over there." Yeah, and I pointed. Anyway, I was looking around and stuff, and I just got this feeling of saying to him, "Well, what do you want the stone for? Like, why are you buying it?" Because I was looking at him thinking, I don't get the
Mm.
feeling he needs that stone. And he goes, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
he goes, my mum bought it for me," and he goes, "No, I keep losing it."
Mm.
Out of my pocket, blah blah blah. And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, that might be indicative that you don't really need it then if you keep losing or it keeps breaking or whatever." Because I think he said it broke once or twice or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Look, you can buy that stone if you want to, if it's a matter of, um, you know, uh, sentimentality, I guess, a sentimental type aspect because of your
Value.
mum." But I said,
Mm-hmm.
"That's not the rock that you need." And he said, "Oh, what?" And I said, "Well, the fact that you keep losing it, it keeps breaking and stuff, says to me you don't need it anymore." And I said, and I told him what the meanings of it were. I said, "It's confidence and this and that," and we went through the details of it. And I looked at him, I said, "You don't need this." And I said, "But
Mm-hmm.
if anything," I said, "maybe you need obsidian." And so then we spoke
Mm-hmm.
about that and blah, blah, blah. And he ended up just buying that actually and left. Um, but he accepted and understood what I was trying to say to him. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, obsidian is
Mm-hmm.
a great stone that has many aspects to it. And it's a gentle stone as well to me. It doesn't feel harsh.
Mm-hmm. It's
Um,
quite protective in a way. It's like a good hug. And then interesting that you mentioned about tiger's eye.
yep.
I do not know why. Back then I used like I did bought like a tiger eye bracelet or something, but I could not wear it. It feels too hot to me. Like the energy of the tiger eye doesn't match. It's too masculine. You know me as a person. I'm a very feminine person. My energy is very feminine. So it's kind of like clashing with my energy. And then, like you say, if you do not need it, it will be lost. And
Mm,
somehow it is. Like that bracelet just somehow somewhere poof
mm.
lost, and then uh, poof, lost, and then interesting that we are talking about obsidian too, because obsidian is somewhat like it is a crystal that's to me is like a mirror because obsidian is a glass in a sense, correct? Like
Mm.
volcanic glass.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
correct?
I think so. Yeah,
Volcanic
yeah.
glass. So it kind of
What are you talking
like
about?
it's a
Obsidian.
mirror that reflects negativity, so it can reflect it out.
Are you talking about obsidian or something else?
Yes,
Sorry.
I'm talking about obsidian.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, do you know that some psychics, or especially like Michel de Nostradam or Nostradamus, use an obsidian mirror to do scrying? So I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah, I
buy
know. I know,
obsidian
I
mirror
know.
for it.
And to answer
I
your question, yes, it is volcanic, from volcanic.
volcanic rock. Yeah, I think
Um,
I'll try to find like a obsidian mirror or something to use for
I've got
scrying and
one
shit, or
actually.
at least to amplify the
I've
psychic
I've got one, but you got to be
vision.
really careful with them. By the way,
Why? Ghost?
well, yeah, because I've got this friend that had one, and
Uh,
she's fucking terrified of them now because she looked deep into it and she actually saw somebody staring back at her, and it was very scary to her. Like, it didn't feel pleasurable or like it was a paranormal, more of a paranormal scary experience than it was, "Oh, look,
uh-huh.
there's a ghost." um
Didn't she
so she's like,
cleanse the
"Fuck
mirror?
that." She goes, "Never fucking touching it ever again."
Weak. I'm
And
so sorry.
and I was like,
But the thing is,
bitch.
my question is that didn't she cleanse the obsidian mirror and protected it, like doing a sigil to like?
She just grabbed it and just started, fiddly fast. So it was her own
Oh,
fault.
that's what she
Yeah,
got
it was her
attacked.
own fault.
Like, as we know, like a mirror, whether it's like your normal mirror or obsidian mirror or crystal mirror or whatever mirror, as long as it's a mirror,
Yeah.
I was told and taught by Luan and other people that it's a portal to the other side. It's like one of the portal. It's like a
Yeah, mirrors
doorway.
are. Yeah, mirrors are. That's all true. By the way, I want to talk
Mm.
about another crystal called ruby zoisite. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Huh?
Ruby
Kunzite? Rosazite?
zoisite. Um, I can
Spell it
send.
to me.
Look, it's a really, really pretty stone, but
Okay.
it's not a stone to be fucked with. And I say that because it's a
Take
very
it in a dildo
powerful.
form and I'll fuck yours.
It is a very
I'm so sorry.
powerful. No, you're right. I mean, I suppose I shouldn't really be talking like that.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
Anyway, the
sorry.
thing is, you've got to be sure that this is the right stone for you before you buy it.
Correct.
Like, I recommend hanging on to it in your hand if you're able to for
Mm-hmm.
a minute or two. But if you get it online or something, or somebody gives it to you and it doesn't sit well with you, I would immediately pass it on to the next person who actually really needs or wants it, because
Mm-hmm.
it's basically a very positive, almost edible looking stone. Like, it's so,
Ooh, yummy.
yeah, like it's so pretty. You look at it and think, oh, you can't, and because of the name, I don't know, something about it makes you want to eat it. I don't know, it's weird, but
Hmm?
I'm not going to eat it.
What's the name of the crystal again? Might as well repeat it.
Ruby zoisite.
Ruby zoisite. Interesting, interesting. I never heard of it before. But the
I'll send you a
image that I'm
picture
getting in my head, it's like
I'm
one
sold
of
out
those
of it.
crystal sugar candy thing. Does it look like that? Maybe send me a picture of
Yeah, I'll
it
send you a
later on.
picture.
All
Basically,
right.
it's like a green stone
Green.
with ruby color flecks through it.
Ah, that's why it looks like a watermelon candy.
Yeah,
For some
so
reason, that's
it's
how
just
it
got
tastes
this
like in my mouth.
really nice, I guess, aesthetic to it, and you kind of want to touch it and hold it and play with it. And anyway, so it has like this almost playful energy to it, and it's smooth. It's apparently it soothes emotional pain that's associated with grief, anger, and despair. And it can also help you grieve over, loved ones who have passed away, or if you're fearing your own death and all sorts of shit. But when I touch that stone, it makes me feel like I am going to fucking die. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be around that stone. I like it. There's something about it I want. But there's something about it that freaks me out. And, it could be any number of things, and we can get right into that, and we're not going to. But it also gives me vertigo or something. It makes me feel very imbalanced, and I'm not the only person that it's done it to. It's very, very powerful, and I'm not the only person that's done it to, because I've had other people come into the shop and do the same thing as me. Oh my god, I love it! Oh, and then they're going, oh, nah. Yeah.
It's a toxic.
Yeah, what the fuck? So yeah, you got to be in the right place to be able to take that on, because I guess if you don't need it, you don't need it, and your body and your energy is gonna reject it. So I guess essentially most things from my past, I feel like I've probably healed from, or gotten over, or whatever, to a degree. So I probably don't need it, and maybe it just made me feel very overwhelmed or something. I don't know. It could also be the
My
opposite.
question is this crystal, ruby zoisite, is similar to a tektite or moldavite? Like those space stone, like we know that moldavite, tektite is like a very powerful stone.
It is a light. I can't remember which one, but it's not one. It's not those ones. It's something else. It started with A. It might be like,
Angelite?
Anolite or something like that. I think it was. It was something different.
Apophyllite, something like that. I think it's apophyllite, like purple color or something. There's like weird name stone, and usually it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
Like, I do not know how it is in Australia or in Europe or American, but to us here in Malaysia, anything that is rare crystal, it's quite expensive.
I sent you a picture.
All right. I'm looking. Oh, this stone. I think I saw it before. It's so yummy.
It is,
I like it.
Look at that. I sent you a second picture too. Isn't it yummy? Like, you look at it and you kind of think, ooh, yes.
Ooh, it looks like
in
like
and around my mouth. You know what I mean?
mint
It's weird.
mint chocolate with great flavor candy or something. It looks
Yeah, I don't
yummy.
know, man. I mean, it almost looks edible. It's just so enticing, and you see it, and you just think, oh yeah, But then you get it on, you're like, oh no, no,
Oh.
no, 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 no.
I wonder if I do not know if you do this, but sometimes I was taught by my spirit guides on how to communicate with crystal, like the
Yeah.
spirit of crystal. Have you ever tried that before?
Yes.
Let's do it on the next podcast or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. We
Like
will.
communicates, like interview with the spirit of amethyst, or maybe this ruby zoisite thingy,
I
like
tell you what, we're
what's
gonna do
wrong with you
too
kind of thing.
on the next one. So we can do
Yeah.
on the next one. Let's do the mirror because I've got one here.
Mirror.
Yeah, and we'll
Yay!
have a
I
play
love
around with
mirrors.
that.
Mm,
And then we'll also do that what you just said.
mm. My question is that do you still remember one of your business called Psychic Mirrors or something? Somehow I'm just picking it up.
What's that? Sorry.
Psychic Mirror? Is
Yeah.
it still available?
Oh, that website.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I've still got it all, but I haven't. I've got to finish refixing it up and making
Okay.
it more live. But I still own it all and that. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Because we're talking about mirror, and then suddenly my mind was like,
Yeah. I
remember
really
that
like the name
website
of that
that Luan
business
had?
actually. Yeah, that's the problem with
Yeah,
me. That's the problem with entrepreneurs. You come up with all these fucking amazing ideas, but then don't have the time to actually execute it. So anyway,
exactly.
let's finalize this session because we're running out of time. Did you want to
All
do a
right.
quick little card reading, like just a general one, just a simple message? It
General
doesn't
reading. All
doesn't have
right.
to be in depth.
Of course. So for this session, I'll be using daily guidance from the Angel's Oracle card and see what does your guardian angel and spirit guide wish to tell us for this session, like messages from heaven. Let's see, let's see. So the card is play, play. Beloved one, it is time to set aside work for a while. Do not worry. We, as the angels, will oversee your responsibility to their completion. Playfulness, gaiety, gay, and laughter will lift your energy so that you'll return to work with a renewed perspective and a heightened sense of energy. Play, comedy, humor, you need it to go do it. There you have it. Message
Wow.
for the angels.
Love, love, love. I love it. Thank you very much, Richard, for your beautiful card reading at the end of the show. Anyway, that's it, guys. We're going to sign out now. And we will speak to you on the next podcast.
Toodaloo.
Losers.